Okay guys, so today I was sent in another robot vacuum. Now this is robot vacuums from a company called Proscenic, yeah, Proscenic, and it looks pretty decent on paper. Now when it comes to robot vacuums, there are different levels of vacuums. So you've got the entry level, and they usually start anywhere from about £200 to £300. Then you got the mid-range, which are about 3 to 5, and then you got the extremely premium ones, which can go all the way over £1,000. So there's kind of like 3 levels. I would say based on this one's price, this is priced I think around £230. It's definitely on the entry level price range. Now, however, it's feature-wise, when I'm looking at it on its actual features, its specs, I would say it's kind of like a crossover between entry to mid-range. So this is quite an interesting one. If you're looking for a robot vacuum, but you don't have, you know, hundreds and hundreds to spend on, this could be the one for you. So I do want to mention that the company Proscenic did send me this vacuum for free, but I'm not being paid to make this review, so it is still my honest opinion. So packaging wise, as you can see, pretty standard stuff. Very nice good cardboard box, got a nice little image of it. On the sides, you don't really have much. You've got like a barcode, and yeah, there's really no information on the packaging. So let's actually crack it open. I opened it the wrong way. Let's just flip it over. There we go. All right. Wow. A nice big sheet with its logo on. I'm just going to throw all this stuff here. Okay, so what do you get? You get like the manual again, with like a little cutting knife and cleaning tool, you know, to cut what do you call it, like hairs and stuff, or strings that might get sucked up in the rotors. Charging station, mop head again, so yes, it does have a mop. And like I said, you know, this is why I'm thinking you get magnetic tape, and I'll explain what that's used for in a bit. A remote, some batteries for the remote, spare filters, spare mop heads, oops, charger port, charger brick, and of course the vacuum itself, and the little rotating spinny, you know, brush heads. Okay, so let's get this box out the way. Before I get into all the accessories, because again, they're very self-explanatory as a whole, let's just take a look at the actual product in terms of its design and feel. Now, straight away, very nice and glossy top end. I really do like the way they've done it. Now you'll see, but it's actually missing. The other one I had was had a laser on top. This one doesn't have a laser, but it still has, I do believe it still has some sort of navigational feature, and I think it's at the front here. You see this glossy part at the front? I believe that's where it's navigating from. It also has a sensor right here. Now that sensor is to do with this magnetic tape, and I believe you can actually create zones using this magnetic tape, and it won't go over, once it recognizes that magnetic tape, it won't go over that zone. Wheel-wise, big, nice rubberized wheels, you know, on springs as well. So, you know, it's capable of going over thresholds. Good little brush here, on-off button. Obviously the charging ports, this is where you connect the little brush heads. What else do you have? I mean, let's just take away all these little slabs. And yeah, and then obviously you got the bin here, bumper. It looks very nice. I've got to say, I love the design. I love the glossiness of it. I like these lines here, the on, off, home, Wi-Fi, all that stuff. Like, it's like a, oh wow, it's actually a glass plate. I just realized it's made out of glass. Obviously, if you drop something on it, that might be a bit, ooh, but it is actually glass, yeah. pretty impressive, I have to say. Made out of glass, very, very impressive. Gives it a very premium feel. Now, obviously, to test it, I'm going to take it downstairs. I'm going to give it a test. So I'm going to pause the video here and I'm going to come back and actually do a proper test on it. So see you in a bit. Okay, so I have it all connected up. It's linked up to the app on my phone via Wi-Fi. And just having a quick look through the app, in fact, let me just screen record this so you can see what I'm seeing. You have a bunch of different functions. So right now it's charging, 54% remaining battery. You've got auto clean, edge clean, spot clean, automatically mop, automatically recharge, max mode, the water mount if you want it medium, heavy, whatever, and remote control mode. So those are the different settings you really have for the vacuum. Now, you can use the app, or it comes with a little remote control. Now this is pretty neat because sometimes, you know, sometimes you can't beat the old-fashioned way. Like a remote control is sometimes, you know, just a bit more easier if you want to do a quick spot clean. I mean, it's the same with a TV, really. Imagine if you could only control your TV through your mobile phone. It would be kind of cool, but a bit of a pain in the ass most of the time, right? So you still want a physical remote. So I really find that handy that they've given you this remote. So I'm going to go ahead, show you all the different features, how it cleans. I'm going to do a little clean test as well, spread some dirt on the ground and see how it hoovers that up. So it should be pretty interesting. Okay, so here is the vacuum. Now I'm going to go ahead and try remote control. Now as you can see, I've got up, down, forward, backwards, left and right. So I can quite literally control it just using the app. Forward, backwards, it's like a little, you know, if you go backwards. How cool is that? So for example, there's a bit of dirt right there. Let's say I want it to just clean that little spot. I can go ahead and angle it up. There we go. And away is the dirt. I've put a line of coffee granules on the floor, and let's see how it picks up a bit more, you know, bigger dirt. You can watch this very carefully. Look at that. Incredible. Sucked up all the coffee granules, no problem. Come here, boy. Come back. Incredible. Now, of course, it also has automatic recharge, so it will go back to its charging port. So if I go ahead and tell it to go to its charging port, so just to show you, automatically recharge, just click that. It should find itself back to the charging port. And there we go. And off it is. It's charging now. So right now I've just turned it on auto clean to see how it figures out what it's doing, because this particular vacuum, it doesn't have the radar technology that the other more higher end vacuums have. So it doesn't create a map of your house, but it does have some sensors. So for example, how did it know where the charging port was? Well, it has a kind of infrared sensor almost, to which the charging port then sends out, and the vacuum picks up and it finds its way back. And as you can see, it's not hitting the walls because it does have sensors. So as you can see, when you hit auto clean, what it does is it creates like a map. Now unfortunately this map isn't isn't stored and doesn't get used for the next time. So you see the orange parts are barriers, so it has this kind of like infrared technology that recognizes where a barrier is, i.e. a wall, and it basically shows you where it's cleaned. Using the white lines you can see exactly where it's gone its path, but it doesn't store a map for next time. So another feature it has is called Edge Clean. Now Edge Clean, it will basically, if I click it, it will just clean around the edges of a room. So by all the walls, it will figure out where the walls are and it will clean just the edges, not the center. Another feature it has is Spot Clean. Now Spot Clean is essentially, it will go round in a circle on a particular spot, and I'll demonstrate that now. It will just go round in a circle and really thoroughly clean that spot area, if that makes sense. So as you can see, it goes round in circles and it will clean one particular area. So if there's a particular dirty spot, it will really focus on that point. Now this particular vacuum does have a mopping mode. So in order to do the mopping mode, you just remove this. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of dirt in there. It picked up nicely, a lot of dirt, so very good as a vacuum. Now, in order for the mop to work, you have to use the mopping tray, which is this. So over here, you just fill it up with some water or, you know, some floor cleaner of your choice, and essentially you just slot it in. So, like so, line it up and give it a good, it's a bit hard to do with one hand. There we go, slot it in. It's now in mopping mode. So you can go back to the app now. If I show the app right here, and there is automatically mop, so let's click that. And now it is just mopping, and there is water quite literally coming out. It's very difficult to show on camera, but it will do exactly the same as what it does when it vacuums, except it will just mop. And as you can see, it's a lot quicker moving because it's having to mop now rather than just vacuum. And it does it systematically. It also detects all the different areas, and that way you can mop as well. And in mopping mode, it's very quiet, you know, because it's not obviously using the motor for the vacuum. It's just quite literally just a motor for the wheels is what you hear. So what is my verdict on this vacuum? To be quite honest, for its price range as an entry-level robot vacuum, it has some very, very good features. A few I would point out that I particularly really like about this, about the 850T. Now its price is at £229 currently, which is, you know, very cheap for a robot vacuum. You're going to struggle to find robot vacuums a lot cheaper. There is a price bracket, you know, starting around £150, but those robot vacuums lack so many features, they are completely pointless to own. I'm talking the ones where they have no, they're literally just a vacuum with wheels and a motor. It has no idea where it's going. There's no system, there's no app associated with it. It's just one button, you switch it on and it just bounces around like crazy. Those vacuums are completely useless. I wouldn't even recommend them, even if you you know, have got money to waste. It is literally just completely a waste of time to buy those vacuums. So really, I'm discarding the really, really cheap ones and looking at entry-level ones similar to this in that price range. And for its price range, it's really, really damn good. Yes, it is lacking the radar technology that the mid-entry and higher-end ones have. Which, you know, does help when you have that radar technology because it creates a map of your house, and you can therefore instruct the vacuum where to go exactly. But another feature, you know, if you want it to avoid a certain area, what this one does is they supply you with some magnetic tape. So this is the tape that they supply you with, and quite simply, if you place this on the floor, the vacuum will know not to go over it. It's kind of like a barrier. So you can put this, you know, on the floor between two rooms, for example. Just stretch it out between two rooms like that, and the vacuum will never enter the other room if this tape is there. And then, you know, if you ever want to change, you just take the tape off. So there are ways around it. Yes, it's a bit more inconvenient, but for the price, again, what do you expect? So this is, it can still do everything a mid-entry or a mid-range robot vacuum does. Now, bear in mind, it also has the mopping feature. Now, the mopping feature, what I particularly like about this vacuum is that it's separated. So you can actually tell it to just mop, and it will just mop. It won't waste its battery on vacuuming. It will literally mop, and it will do it really quick. Whereas a lot of other vacuums, they're integrated. It will always vacuum and mop, or just vacuum alone. It will never mop alone. So it takes a lot longer for it to do its task. Yes, it combines vacuuming and mop, which, you know, two birds and one stone type situation, but sometimes you just literally want a quick mop around, you know, give it a bit of a clean, and you want it done quickly, and this would work very well for that. It does it at lightning speeds. So auto clean is obviously something you would use regularly. You just click the button, boom, off it goes. You can also use the remote, and you can also schedule when you want it to clean as well. The remote even gives you a little time. It's 11:36 p.m. apparently. It's not, I just haven't set the time correctly on the remote. But you know, the remote has auto button for auto clean, home button to bring it back to the recharge station, and also the directional pause stop, so you can pause the task, forward, backwards, left, right, so you can actually direct it using the remote. And then a few other features such as the edge clean, spot clean, etc. So you could do everything on the remote that you can pretty much do on the app. So choose whichever one you like to use. If you want to use the remote, go for it. If you want to use the app, go for it. So very neat. I like the fact that they're giving you a remote. Auto clean is probably what you're going to use the most. It's just one button. It will figure out the rest and it will just do it, which is pretty cool. Edge clean and spot clean, honestly, I can't really see myself using it, but then again, other people may do. I don't really see the point in edge clean as much, because if I wanted to clean the edges of a room, you might as well just clean all of it. That's the way I see it. Spot clean, okay, if you have one particular dirty area, I kind of understand it, but again, you know, I'd probably just go for the full clean again. The idea is more that you you know, hit auto clean once a day, and it will just, you know, dirt will never really build up. If you allow it to hoover or vacuum once a day and even mop once a day, dirt will never really build up in your house, and you'll always have it looking pretty decent. So that's kind of the idea. So edge and spot clean is kind of, for me, I don't really see the point in it. Mop, obviously, definitely be using a mop. And then the remote control. This is, I really love the remote control. I haven't seen many vacuums with this feature. So you can actually control the vacuum through the app or through the remote, just up, down, and I really like that idea. I know practically you probably never really use it as much, because you would, again, just use auto clean, but I can see that working. I can see myself using it more. So for example, if I have a particular spill or a particular dirty area, rather than using spot clean, I'd rather just control it myself, tell it to go forward, backwards, around that area. I know it's very lazy, but that's what these robot vacuums are for. It's convenience, right? So I really like the fact that you can control it. So it has many features that some of the higher end ones don't have, but then it's lacking features that higher ends do have. The main feature really that it's lacking is quite simply the radar technology that the more higher end ones have. But then again, for £229, it's a steal for what it is. So if you're looking for a decent, affordable robot vacuum, this is probably what I would recommend. If you have more money to spend, you know, if you're looking at the £500–600 range, then of course you can either get two of these, one for upstairs, one for downstairs, or you know, get yourself one which has more features. But it will be also lacking in other features such as the remote control and also being able to split the vacuum and mopping separately. But all in all, I have to say, it vacuums very well, it mops very well, it actually does the task of vacuuming very well. It's a good all-round robot vacuum at a very affordable price. It's definitely something I can see myself using. I will probably use it for my upstairs because I don't have a robot vacuum for upstairs, so I'll use it for that. It's decent. It also works very well on carpets. I have a front doormat which is quite thick, and it cleaned that very well. So yeah, I'm very impressed with it. For its price, I'm very impressed. I will leave a link to it in the description below. I want to thank the company Proscenic for sending me in the 850T vacuum. Always appreciated. And yeah, I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Go ahead, pick it up. If you haven't yet subscribed, do hit that subscribe button. Also leave a comment if you like this video, and a thumbs up as usual. And once again, thank you for watching, but until next time, feed your mind.